What's up, everybody? It's Shy here with the very first episode of the Vision2Reality show, where we're going to be interviewing entrepreneurs, traders, overall creative people who are literally bringing their vision to reality. So today I have a very special guest, someone who I've known for a little bit now. He is a entrepreneur, day trader, former college football player, former pro football player, accountant by trade. I mean, just jack of all
Yeah,
trades and a master of a lot of them. My boy Derek,
my
appreciate you
dog.
coming through.
It's a blessing to be here, man. I
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
that.
Yes, sir, man. So, I really just want to get into it today and get people the real,
Mhm.
especially with this forex industry, bro. A lot of speculation has been around the forex industry the last couple of years. Is it real? Is it a cult? Like, what is it? So, I feel like this is the perfect way to kick this off because I've been in the day trading space for years. So have you. But before we even segue to that, I really want to give you a chance to let the people know who you are. Tell us a little bit about the upbringing, and how you got to be
Yeah.
legendary, Derek.
Yo, what's up, everybody? My name is Derek Beckway, man. I'm originally from Houston, Texas. I'm Nigerian descent, so my parents are Nigerian. Like I said, overall, throughout day trading, it's been about 4 years. I've been doing it for full time. Before that, like I said, guys, I was pursuing football. I actually wanted to actually pursue the NFL. That's something that I always dreamed about doing. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Then I became an accountant. From that point, I started doing sales, and then I worked into actually becoming a day trader. So, like I said, man, it's been a long journey, but I'm blessed and I'm thankful to be here, man.
Cool, cool. So you got that Nigerian background too. So was it ever like a lot of that pressure, like yo, you got to be a doctor, a lawyer, that type of thing growing up?
Yeah, like my parents really didn't give me that much options. When you're growing up in a Nigerian household with foreign parents that moved, that were immigrants and that moved over to the United States with practically nothing, all they kind of built and instilled in my head while I was playing football was school. So while I was in school playing football, and I went to New Mexico State University, guys, in the back of my head, I always think, okay, football don't work out. I gotta be something. I gotta be something. I'm not about to be a bum. I can't be a bum. Can't be a bum. And it's crazy because all that foundation that my parents taught me from a young age, it motivated me to, want to do more in my life. And I knew instantly it doesn't matter what avenue I get into. Like I'm gonna make something happen. I'm gonna make something the most out of my situation. So it was actually a good thing that my parents kind of did that for me, and I'm blessed. I'm fortunate.
That's dope. That's dope. So just about you were in college and really motivated, and obviously like that's a big part of being an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
day trader is just like having that motivation. And do you think like the football journey has led you to be consistent and to just have that day to day routine and that structure?
I think football, what it does to you, it builds a discipline, right? It takes a certain level of discipline to even reach becoming a D1 athlete. I don't know the percentage wise, but I know a lot of people don't even
Yeah, a
become
lot of people
that,
don't
especially
get to do
playing
that.
on the FBS level. I was always a self motivated individual all throughout high school. I didn't need people telling me what to do. Right? I knew what I wanted. I had goals in mind. I had a vision in place. Um, I'm self motivated. I don't need somebody to tell me, "Hey, wake up at this time, this and this." I'm gonna do it naturally because I'm um, I'm goal oriented. That's just how I am. That's how I've been. I always have a time schedule as far as what I want to do and I want to accomplish. So taking all that stuff that I learned through football, as far as discipline, um, going through the pain, hard work, dedication, just being to the grind, learning how to navigate that and put that into real world aspects as far as out in the real world business and stuff like that has definitely played a big part.
Cool. They say how you do anything is how you do everything. So I feel like you're living proof of that, man. Because we got connected a couple, I want to say maybe a year or two ago
Okay.
now, through the good brother Adrian, man. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Adrian, man.
He's doing big, big things. Got to get him on the show one day. But we got connected. I remember meeting you. Actually, we went to your place for the first time, and you just had like this mysterious, like Dark Knight type of vibe, like almost like a Bruce Wayne. I was like, yo, who is this dude?
Yeah.
And I could tell like you took your craft really serious. I saw the setup in the crib, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's one of them ones. Like you really do this. A lot of people say that they're day traders, that they, are in the industry, but they really don't have the results. And one thing you've been great at is like being consistent with, showing the real of the discipline and the day to day, but actually being on them charts, getting results. So, how did you really get started with Forex or with just day trading in general? Like, what was your exposure to it?
So I always had an investing background. When I was playing football, in 20, I think I played from 20 in college. I played from 2014 to 2019. I was always investing into like Bitcoin and mutual funds. I was just a natural investor, always
Hmm.
trying to think of ways how can I make money while I'm sleeping. Like that was always my mindset. and I always envisioned myself, okay, well, football didn't work out. I want to be like a big time investor. Like that's
Right,
what I
right.
see myself as. So what I would do is I look stuff up on Google, like look at companies, this research, and I came across day trading. Day trading was one of the things that they said that you have a flexible schedule. So in the back of my mind, I always knew that okay, this is something that I'm gonna spend the block on. Let
Mhm.
me get back into this football. Football is what I really want to do at the time. That's where I see myself. I want to go to the NFL. I want to play at the highest level. I want to be, all American player and stuff like that. So that's something I see myself do. But I said, you know what? Let me kind of spin the block on it later. Let's focus on football. Luckily, during that time, I had a lot of time to actually even research because I was injured and I wasn't playing.
Mhm.
And I think that was God trying to open up my doors to, expanding my network and expanding opportunities out there. I think sometimes you're so focused on, the goal at hand that I think God comes in and He's like, hey, He taps you on your shoulders, like, hey, I have the vision that I want for you. I have
Right.
the where I want you to go as far as your life and stuff like that. But sometimes we're so focused on just one picture that we can't see or we can't listen to those words that God's telling you. So I think God was showing me a glimpse of what my lifestyle was going to become. So I wanted to take that, and like I said, from that point on, I did the football dream. Right. Luckily, I got an opportunity to play in the CFL for a little bit. Ended up getting cut, but during that time, that's when I kind of seen another individual who's day trading on his phone during practice. That was
Mhm.
another sign that I feel like God was giving me, like, okay, what is this? Somebody able to make money from his phone. He's at practice. Um,
Was it Forex or was it something else?
it's Forex.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I seen that, I was like, yo, like that's dope. Because it's different when you see it on the internet,
Yeah.
but when you see it in person and you're like, oh shit, like somebody's really doing that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It kind of opened my eyes and I told myself, okay, that's what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not now though, because I still believe in this football stuff, but I know that's where I want to go.
Okay.
Um, and then yeah, I mean, like from that point on, after I got cut, that's when, for me, I just woke up in reality. I said, I always told myself, once I got the professional opportunity, I don't want to be those guys that like, keep chasing it. That's just not me. I'm just realistic with myself, right? So I stopped playing football, and that's when I went the accounting route. So I studied for my CPA, and I realized I didn't really want to do that.
Mhm.
It was cool, don't get me wrong, but it's just going from playing in front of thousands of people, you know, being a football player, signing autographs and stuff like that,
Yeah.
to working at a desk and stuff like that. It just there's two different lifestyle changes that it's two complete opposites.
Right. Right.
And at the time, it was a very hard adjustment. I don't think people talk about it much, but it's not hard. It's not easy once you play something for 15 years to just all of a sudden stop and then just go into a completely different avenue. So that adjustment was kind of hard for me. So that's when I was like, okay, cool. You know what? Let me get into something more competitive.
Mhm.
That's when I started doing sales, right? Start getting into sales because that's at that point I'm like saying I'm a self motivated individual. So like I said, I want to be able to have a little control. Like, okay, cool. Whatever I put out is what I get back.
Right.
So that's when I got into like recruiting and stuff like that, as far as like staffing, recruiting stuff. I actually went behind my parents' back on that. My parents weren't really fond when they found that I gave up the accounting stuff to do that. Um, and that's when during that time I was learning how to day trade.
Okay. So what year was that when like you're starting to really say, okay, I want to transition and
Yeah.
really get serious about this trading stuff?
So it's probably like 2019, 2020, around
Okay.
that range. That's when 2019 is when I started like actually trading. 2020 is when I seen some type of success on it. And
Okay.
then yeah.
So did you take a course? For all the people who are new, like what was your route to get started? Did you just download MetaTrader and like let me just try and get
So
busy?
when I first started, it was crazy. My first day I made like 500, no, it was like 400 and like something dollars.
Mhm.
That was the worst thing that happened for me, because I had this wrong. mm, It was the worst thing that happened to me because I gambled and I
Mm.
made that money up front. So I thought like, oh shit, I can do this again. Like I really know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But having so much early success, like on the first day doing that, it messed up my mental because I felt like every day should be that. I thought it was more
Mm.
of a get rich quick scheme, and I ended up losing a lot of money over the span of like 8 months. Um, and then that's when I got in contact with one of my mentors and stuff like that at the time, a guy named Tife. Shout out to him. And then I learned from him. You know what I'm saying? I learned as far as like the fundamentals and stuff like that. Then I kind of just made things my own.
Got you. So You said T-Fay, and I know he was in MLM because I remember Adrian telling me about him. Were
Yeah.
you in MLM, or like it was like on the side?
So
He was teaching
I
you.
was doing it on my own,
Okay.
and then I seen that he was in the MLM, but I was just doing it for myself, following
Right.
him. You see what I'm saying?
Got you.
So I was already doing it before the MLM wave. You see what I'm saying?
Got you.
And then yeah, like I said,
Yeah, because there's so many different ways to get exposed to it now. Like when I first got started in 2015, my mom was an MLM, so I saw
Sure.
people making money online and people making money from building teams. So I always believed in it. Like it
Mhm.
wasn't ever like, is this real? It was more so like, how do I make this thing work? So kind of like I put money in a live account right away. I didn't demo. I didn't want to do that. Like
Yeah.
first day, put 100 in, made 100, withdrew $97. That was
Yeah.
my first withdrawal because I wanted to see if it
You
was
gotta
real.
see
Like,
it,
I
yeah.
wanted to touch it because if
Yeah.
I could touch it, I'm like, oh, I can keep doing this, rinse and
Yeah.
repeat.
Mhm.
And then I went on that cycle of like, trying to lose, win, because I didn't really have a strategy where I'm just like, it goes up, I'm buying, it goes down, I'm selling, but I don't really know any technicals or things like that.
Mhm.
So how long did it take for you to like really put the pieces together? Because that's what a lot of people don't realize. Like some people know how to use the app, know how to place trades,
Mhm.
but when did it like start to connect? Like,
Things started making sense maybe a year in. A year in, that's for me. That's when I was like, okay, I have an idea what's going on,
yeah,
right? Because at that point, I lost all that money. I was like 18,000 over spent like 8 months, which is kind of everything I saved up at the point. I talked about this before. Um, that was why I was saving up, kind of hustling. I was always doing like some entrepreneur stuff in college and high school and stuff like selling candy and fire sticks. Um, but I lost that money, so I was like, oh man, like I gotta actually take this serious now because there's two ways I can go. I can stop trading, you know what I'm saying? Or I can be like, okay, you know what? Let me just learn from my mistakes. Maybe sometimes I feel like God, what he does, takes something away from you, like he makes you lose,
right,
so that way you can appreciate, you can learn something from it. And I think the lesson was, okay, I need to stop gambling.
right,
Like
right.
gambling's not working out for me. So yeah, like I said, that's from that point on. That's when I started taking things serious. After probably a year in.
Yeah, you made a good point. Sometimes God has to like retract some of those things because I feel like with a lot of traders, and just because we can make money on our phone, our ego gets big so fast. And they
Yeah,
say, ego just stands for edging God out.
yeah,
And I
that's
remember
cool.
even me, like, after having a couple quick wins, like, you get that head full of steam where it's like, oh, I can't do anything wrong because you're winning on accident, but you don't know
Yeah,
how to stop the losses.
I think the good thing about day trading, man, and what I like about it is it kind of just brings out your true self.
Hmm.
Any insecurities or anything that you're going through, I
Yeah.
feel like it all gets brought out to that. For me, when things were going really good, I found myself in a very cocky state. You know, very like I'm untouchable. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And what day trading has done for me is brought me back down to reality. That I can be touched. You
Right,
know what I'm
right.
saying? But I think sometimes what God does, He puts you through that so that way you can get humbled and then you can
Hmm.
understand that okay, hey, not only do you need Him, but you're not untouchable, right?
Right.
Losses can come. You know what I'm saying? So I think keeping that level-headed mind kind of keeps me smooth, so that way I'm never gonna get over myself.
Got you. Got you. Now that makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense, man. So as far as on the charts, I see you killing gold all the time.
Mhm.
Um, I think you trade US 30 too.
Today was the first day I traded US 30 in like 3 4 months.
Okay.
I just saw the opportunity.
So gold is your main pair.
Gold and Nas.
And that's okay.
Gold and Nas.
What did you start out with? Because a lot of people just start out with Euro
I started
USD.
with currencies. Yeah,
Okay.
so I started doing currencies. I was kind of scared of the indices aspect because of the volatility.
Yeah.
I always was told to stay away from it when you're a beginner and
Right.
stuff
Right.
like that. And I think that was a mistake for me. I feel like indices is dope because it's fast.
Hmm.
My personality is I don't want to wait 5 days to see something or lose. I want to
Right.
lose. Lose now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Get it out the way. Right.
Get out the way. Yeah. So I started off with currencies because it's slower. You know what I'm saying? And then I kind of just worked my way into the indices. And
Hmm.
then I started like, okay, gold and Nas, those are the things that I like. I like how it moves. You know what I'm saying? Patterns and stuff like that.
Right. So after taking a lot of those losses and like losing 18K, most people would have been done with it. They're like,
Yeah.
I'm going back to my job. I'm going maybe back to the crib because I got to stay with my parents now.
Mhm.
Did you just continue to deposit more money? Did you get a prop firm account? Like, what was it at the time that you were doing to kind of build back
So
up?
um, for me, my mindset, I don't like quitting things.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I always been. And I think that comes with football too. You know what I'm saying? Like the discipline of football, everything it took for me to get to, the level that I was playing at and stuff like that. I'm just kind of relentless when it comes to stuff like that. So I was thinking like, yo, this is something I really want to do. And for me, I can lose thousands. Like I'm okay with losing. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's my whole mindset behind it is when I figure it out, I know I can make it back. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? So my whole thing was I don't want to look back and be like, damn, I stopped because I lost some money. And then I see all the people that started with me just
Just
elevate. That
up.
like that would drive me crazy.
Right.
So for me, it was like I'm just keep going, but the thing is, I'm just change my approach.
Okay.
Like instead of trying to go for home runs, let me just try to learn. So what I did, luckily, I took $1,000. I had like $1,500. I ended up taking that to like 18,000. Like literally crazy. Like the next week after I lost the complete 18,000 of the 8 months.
Oh, so
So
you got it all back.
I got it all back,
Okay.
and that was the sign that I got from God. Like, yo, this is what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So from that point on, man, I just started, just building myself. There's a lot of ups and downs throughout the process. There's days I lost, of course, times I lost, but I just started going uphill as far as the education. Started learning. What am I doing? Getting used to my strategy and stuff like that.
Right. So, like, just for the people who don't know what forex is, obviously, we're trading currencies. But
Yeah.
what was like your day-to-day approach? Were you more of a support and resistance, smart money concepts?
I was just supply, demand, price action.
Okay.
I was just looking for supply, demand zones, price action, and just look for like retracements and continuations for trends and stuff. It's pretty simple.
Gotcha.
I don't really do too much as
Yeah,
far as that.
I've always been the same way. Like, I don't like a cluttered chart. Like, I like to just really
Well, I
see
think,
the market.
in my opinion, I think every strategy works.
Right.
I think people are so big on strategies. Like, if something works for you, it may not work for me. You are two different people.
Right.
You can do smart money, and that makes sense for you, right? I could do support and resistance, and that makes sense for me. I always tell people like every strategy works. It just depends on the person. I may view things and look at it differently than you, but what you may do may be profitable.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean that what I'm doing is wrong. If it works for me, it works for me. What works for you works for you. So I always tell people it's not really about the strategy. It's more of just how is what you're doing working or not.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
No, I agree because I think some people get too caught up on like, oh, I'm in the ICT group where I'm doing this, and it's like, if it works, it works. Like, go ahead and make your money,
Yeah.
and as long as you're extracting from the market, like I don't care if you want to call it an order block, support, resistance, like it doesn't matter what you call it. Make sure you're pulling money out of the market.
I always tell people that, yo, I'm not in the business of convincing anyone anything.
Mm.
I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And what works for me is going to work for me. If you don't want to do that, that's completely fine. That's okay. I'm not here to convince you because I know what works for me. You know what I'm saying? That mindset, it just takes me a long way because I'm not here trying to persuade you on anything. Like, I know what works for me
Right.
because
Right.
I'm still doing it and I'm going to continue to do it.
Right.
So that's just something I leave people with.
No, that's real. And we're not here to entice anybody. But I do want to know, what's the biggest win you've had in one day?
The most I made in one day was like, I think like 19, 20,000.
Okay.
And the biggest loss I had was like 95, $9,500. That was the biggest loss I've had. But that was in like 2022.
Okay.
2021, yeah.
So, because a lot of people, they can't handle getting those big wins and then those big losses. Like, how did you find that balance to still want to keep going? Like, obviously you knew it was real, but some people would get that loss and like take 3 months off. Or did you do that?
So when I lost that money, I'm not gonna lie to you, it kind of bothered me, bro. Yeah,
think about it for a little bit.
Yeah, the reason why it bothered me, it wasn't the fact that I lost the money. It was the fact of I've already traded. I was done for the day, and I remember one of my boys called me, and he's like, "Hey man, I see this opportunity with Nas or some shit like that. I forgot what it was when I was trading." And then I looked at it, and I was like, "Man, you know what? That doesn't look bad." And then I found myself like, "Okay, I'm popping entries." And the key to the game I've learned to myself, and one rule I have myself is I'm always gonna have like a stop loss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I start popping interest, and it's just tanking. And my mindset, I was like, bro, I'm down like, 1,500. I said, bro, I'm not closing this out. It's Nas is already completely sold like 3,000, 2,000 pips. There's no way.
Yeah.
It's just gonna sell. It's okay. I'm just gonna pop, and I'm popping another entry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait for the other one. I'm just close that one out, and just kept going lower and lower. And I'm just like, yo, and it's so fast. It happens so fast you don't even realize it when you're trading.
Yeah.
Like next thing you know, I'm down like 5,000-6,000, and then my mentality is like, bro, I can't close this. I can't close this.
You
Like,
got
I
to
can't
stick
take
it,
it.
see
Yeah.
it through.
And then at that point, I'm just like, bro, it got to like 9,000, and I said, you know what? I gotta close. And I closed. It was a very hard day for me. You know, luckily, I wasn't in a position where I was in a position where I could lose.
Right.
But still, when you lose, five figures on trade,
no one wants to lose.
It messed up your mental. I ended up taking a break. Yeah, I remember I ended up taking a break for like about 3 weeks, 2 weeks. And I said, you know what? Just took a break. And then,
and you got to know when to walk away, because I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of traders, or especially new traders, they're chasing that loss. And if you're chasing that loss, then you're kind of like just marrying the idea that you're going to keep going no matter what, and that can just build up a losing streak you don't want to be on.
That actually started my losing streak.
That was the start of it. So there was more after that.
Yeah, so I ended up losing like I didn't talk about it in that time. I ended up losing about 60,000 in 1 month.
Sheesh.
Yeah, so I lost a lot of money. And that was through different accounts, old accounts too. Like
this is not prop firm money. Let's
No,
be
it's
clear.
like
This is live
yeah.
account. This is money that you built
Yeah.
up, I'm assuming, probably
So,
over
yeah.
time.
Yeah, so I'm losing. I'm depositing, losing.
Mm.
Yeah, so that month was just very hard month for me. Yeah, but it's okay. Like looking back on it, it was hard. Don't get me wrong. Looking back on it, it was hard. But I realized in the end, like all that stuff is just a part of the journey. Like I became a better person. God has humbled me from that. Like the person I am today is not the same person you would have met in 2021, where things were going crazy for me. You know what I'm saying? Or so I became a better person from it, man. I've learned from my mistakes. I'm better at investing. My mental is clear whenever I'm trading. Right? I don't take losses as hard. You see what I'm saying? Like I know how to deal with losses. I go to the gym. I work out. I'm just a better overall person from that. So like, as bad as when I went through it, it kind of bothered me. I became such as like I've learned so much about myself through that time. I'm not even gonna put myself in a position like that again.
Yeah.
So, yes, sometimes you got to lose to win, and I'm part of this game, and I understand. I'm not scared to fail, right? I know this is a part of my journey, right? And I know at the end of the day, whatever God is allowing me to experience is what I mean to experience for a reason. And I know down the road there's going to be benefits to that,
Right.
and I'm going to be able to sow whatever I'm reaping. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And when we talk about time, like time is just things I must experience, right? So like everything you've gone through, it makes you who you are. So honestly, if you probably didn't take some of those losses, you probably wouldn't be the refined version of who you are today.
I became a better person, man, and I'm grateful for every loss that I've taken. Like I said, failure comes with the game. You know what I'm saying? You gotta fail to succeed. I know people say that, it's cliche, but the moment when I stopped giving a fuck as far as like, hey, this comes with it, things just start going better for the uphill, right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's all part of the journey, man. I'm blessed. I'm thankful. It's all God. I give God all the glory for everything He's been doing.
Right. And you talk about, just the balance of everything too. And, you're motivating me. Like I look at the IG reels and I see the day to day, and like I see the gym, I see the work, I see like everything you're doing. So talk about that balance and like how those other areas are important, because people think it's just sitting at the charts all day. Like that's just one aspect, probably 10% of your day.
I always told myself when I was trading, like I wanted to kind of be an all around individual. I love working out. I love going out, traveling. I love having fun. Like I want to enjoy myself, and I want to be a complete version. I want to be the best version of myself, and it doesn't matter what avenue that's in. It could be trading, it could be working out, it can be, content creation. I just want to be the best version of myself. So it doesn't matter what avenue I get into. I just want to make sure that hey, I have a life outside of everything, right? Just because one part of my life is down doesn't mean life's supposed to stop. I think the whole purpose of life is you got to keep going throughout, the setbacks, the adversity, the failures that God puts you through, right? All this stuff is for a reason. So what I do, I just make sure I always have a life outside of it. So that way, like for instance, when I did lose that money, right? I didn't have a life outside trading. I let my body go. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't doing the other stuff, but I've learned the best way for me to deal with that is whenever I'm going through something in one part of my life, as long as the other stuff, you gotta have balance. When the other stuff is working out and I'm in shape, this and this, that loss ain't that bad
Yeah,
anymore. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because for me, I like working out because that's something I know every single day I do, I'm gonna be able to get results. I can win, have a win for the day. I can make no money trading, I can lose. God forbid, I can be doing bad in my other businesses, something like that. But I know for a fact, if I win and I show up and I just work out, at least I won for the day. And
right.
it's something for me, being an entrepreneur, I have to always be self motivated. I have to always be disciplined. I always have to, because there's nobody else. There's nobody to point the finger at. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Whenever I'm looking in the mirror, I'm my reflection. That's who I am,
Right.
right? My character is who I am when nobody's looking. So I always want to look in the back and be like, okay, you know what? I did this for myself today. Like I
Hmm.
don't want to have to go a day unwasted, not doing something. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as far as like psychology, because I tell traders all the time, it's 90% psychology and 10% technical.
Mhm.
Because that mindset is not right, like nothing else will matter. You
Mhm.
will not trade good. You will not be consistent over time. You will not be profitable. So what really helped you with the mindset, other than like football and stuff? What did you do to really like build this mindset?
You know, people don't really understand. I'm big on energy,
Mhm.
right? I changed my diet, so I eat a lot of cleaner stuff. And the reason why I do that, people don't really understand. Whenever you change your diet, now you're gonna have more energy. When I was eating bad foods, eating out burgers, fried foods, fatty foods, not watching, things with a lot of fat in it, things with a lot of sugar and stuff like that. I noticed I get more lazier. You see what I'm saying? I fall asleep
Yeah.
more. Like I had less energy. I wasn't working out. So now when I started working out and eating cleaner, not only can I think better for myself, I'm up whenever I am doing something. Like I have more energy to put out, right? Now I'm more motivated to do what I need to do as far as work for the day, right? And what it does, is, like I said, it just makes me more productive overall. So now coming with the mindset of day trading, I want to be on my 10 toes as far as I want to put myself in the best position for me to win. And I'm the best position whenever I'm eating clean because I have more energy and I'm able to think faster as far as my mind's working, right? I started fasting as well too. What people don't understand, when fasting, you're cleansing your body, right? And now you're removing all those toxins and all this stuff. And what it does, it makes you have a clear state of mind, right? So now when I'm fasting, I don't eat before 12 o'clock, right? Especially when I'm trading and stuff. Now I'm working on an empty stomach, but my head's clear.
Mhm.
So I'm able to make smart decisions and my energy levels are up because I'm not worried about food.
Got you. So, obviously, like I said, you've been killing it on the trading side. You've been consistent for years now, and you've taken people on your journey and literally allowed them to watch you trade every single day. I know you have your group where you're calling signals and things like that. So, just give me a little bit of overview, like how that works and what you're doing to actually bring people along with you.
So it's pretty simple. Some people just want to kind of follow what I do. I do offer like a group mentorship where people can just kind of join my group, watch me kind of do my pre-market analysis. Typically every Sundays I host free Sunday analysis calls where I'm just doing an overview of what to expect for the upcoming trading week. I like to do these every Sunday and just show people like, hey, this is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm expecting price to do. This is how I'm gonna go about it as far as refreshing my chart, so you can see kind of the process and steps
Hmm.
before I actually call trades or get into trades for myself. I actually trade for myself first, and then if I see an opportunity for the group, then I'll call it with minimal risk, so that way everybody else can make with me. But I trade for myself first. So depending on what I see, I just like to put it out there for the group. I do like a pre-market analysis, every morning. So look, you're going through like chart markup, showing you, hey, this is what I'm looking at. And good thing about my group, man, I'm in the field with you. So I'm gonna actually show you that, hey, this is what I see price is gonna do. And once it gets to that level, if it's good for the group, I'll even call it for you. That way we both can kind of win together. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of just try to be hands on. I don't really have the educators or anything like that. I do have people in the chat that I've helped that some more 5-figure, 6-figure earners as well too. I just try to be transparent as possible. I show entries, withdrawals, profits. Let my guys know that hey, I know what I'm doing, right, and I do this.
Yeah.
So
now every day I see your story go up, man. I know, like I see them screenshots, and you be taking some crazy steps. I see why you call it. What's your group name?
Sniper,
Sniper FX.
legendary sniper effects.
Man, yeah, you definitely take some sniper entries, man. So, do you feel more pressure, like having a group and trying to lead people? Like, when did you feel comfortable to transition from just being a trader to expanding into that business realm of bringing people along with you?
Well, I don't, you know, that comes from football. I used to play in front of 100,000 people. Like, I don't think people understand that. Like playing in front of thousands of people where people are trying to knock your head off all day. That whenever I seen that from that perspective, and I thought about it like, yo, I can do that.
Yeah,
This is nothing. Like,
easy.
you know what I'm saying? Like, this is just I'm behind a screen, behind a desk.
Right,
You know what I'm
in the
saying?
crib.
And the thing about it is, at the end of the day, I know I'm not doing people dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm doing my best, so I can live with the fact of what happens. Helping people and stuff like that. So this is just, it's like second nature to me. It doesn't really feel like anything. I like to do it, and then what it does, honestly, it motivates me to get my ass up every single day and become the best version. Because if people are banking on what I tell them to do, I want to win, and
Right.
that keeps me that competitive edge where I'm like, yo, I got to do this shit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So I enjoy it. It's cool. Some people think it's pressure. Some people think it's nerve wracking. You know, this is just second nature for me at this point.
Hey, well, you're killing it, man. So shout out to you. I know everyone who is in your group and under your, mentorship and leadership. They're in good hands. We were talking a little bit about other businesses and just other,
Okay.
avenues. So we were talking about crypto, and you said you're actually pretty big in the crypto space too.
Yeah, so I do a lot of crypto long term investing. Like I said, I've been investing in Bitcoin since I was a kid. I'm not since I was in college. So like I said, I do a lot of like altcoins and stuff like that. So whenever I see an opportunity, stuff like that, I even call for my group. I invest into things like Solana. I'm not gonna go into detail, but like Solana, XRP, stuff like that. And then I actually go like altcoins, like Filecoin, and there's more details and stuff like that.
So you're holding long term with these coins.
Yeah, so I do like long term investing. I'm big on like long term investing. Like I said, I was able to catch Solana when it was at $15. Was able to ride that up to like 200. Made like 28,000 from that one. Um, like I said, I just do a lot of investing. As far as like long term crypto assets, as far as altcoins and stuff like that. I haven't really had any much success with like the meme coin aspect.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's just very volatile, and I haven't had success with it.
Right.
So I just stick to what I know. I look at stable coins, long term stuff that, they are going to fluctuate, but I know and actually believe in the project. I tell people this: whenever you're investing, always go with something that you believe in. Right. So God forbid if shit goes left, at least it's something you believe in. Right. Yeah. So that's my philosophy. Now I'm looking at stable stuff. I like Solana, I like Ethereum, I like stuff like that. So I'm looking to get in these things at pullbacks and just hope for the long term. So.
Right, and obviously, you're making profits in the foreign exchange market. Day trading, because day trading is not for everybody. Like that's what a lot of people don't realize. Yeah. I believe investing is something everyone should do, but day trading is one of those things where it's like you have to have the passion for it because it's a sport.
Yeah. So some people, like I said, I do have a long term crypto group as well too. That one's not day to day, of course, because it's fluctuating. But some people don't want to do day trading because day trading is constantly up and down, involves you looking at the screen. Some people just want to do, hey, I want to buy something long term, where I put my money in and stuff like that. So I do that. And then, like I said, I show people exactly how to use, because you got to think about it like this. Everything that you're doing as far as day trading wise, it's all just a chart markup. Once you're able to read a chart, it doesn't matter if it's crypto, it doesn't matter if it's stocks, it doesn't matter if it's options. Right. It's all the same chart. Once you know how to read price action, what price is doing, you're just looking from a long-term perspective depending on the market you're in. Now, there may be different terminology like futures, it's like ticks compared to like pips and stuff like that. Or options is like calls and puts compared to sales and buys. Maybe different terminology, but overall the chart is the same as far as the aspect. Now, stocks and stuff like options, now you're dealing with companies and earnings and stuff like that. But as far as crypto and stuff like that, once you're able to read a chart, you can just take that into, long-term crypto stuff and do the exact same thing. So I just apply my strategy, which I teach individuals as far as supply and demand. price action and stuff like that, support and resistance, I'm able to take that and invest into long-term stuff, same stuff.
Got you. So, as far as like other things, 'cause I remember when we first met, you told me you had a little hand in real estate. Didn't you own a sneaker store at one time? Or you had another business you owned too?
There was I was a I wouldn't say angel investor. I was a silent investor into one for a little bit, stuff like that. And then I did a real estate, of course, did a little bit of wholesaling. And then I do some other businesses on the side and stuff like that. I don't really like to go into detail telling everybody what I do.
No, understandable. You gotta keep something, mysterious. But as far as like lessons, like what did you learn from all these different businesses? Now you've been day trading for what, like 5 years now?
Okay.
So like what are the lessons that you can say, shaped you and you took away?
So, in the past, I used to work with people as far as like some partnerships. I've learned, whenever I'm doing business or whenever I'm dealing with other people, not everybody has the same morals and beliefs as you, right? So you have to kind of keep those things in mind, right? I've learned to have less expectations of people because people change by the day, right?
Yeah.
Humans in itself, they're always indecisive on what they want to do. So I've learned throughout this process, I don't take people's word, right? I'm more focused on people's actions. What are you actually doing? What's your actions behind things?
Show me.
Hey, show me, right? And I've took away the expectations of people, and honestly, that's gave me a mental clarity, right? Because you got to understand when you're doing business, some people may not do things the way you do it, and the things that you may say, that's off limits, I'm not doing. Somebody may do that. You know what I'm saying? So I've learned, like, for me myself, I work best by myself.
Yeah.
Right. I may work with somebody for a little bit, but I'm self-driven, self-motivated. I work best. So when shit hits the fan and things go left, I'm the person to blame, and I'm okay with that pressure. I'm okay with that. So I've learned in my past not to deal with people. That's why I don't let people run my group or let people do this. I just do everything hands on myself. So when things go left, I know who's the point of finger.
And that's the amazing thing about trading too, is like you really don't need anybody. I think people, have this misconception from the pandemic and MLM, like, oh, you got to be in this company or this group, and you can really do this by yourself. Like, of course, you need some information, but you can do it by yourself.
That's what gravitated me towards trading, right? People don't understand, like, trading is not necessarily just about making money. It's how the money's being made. It's like, yo, you're telling me all I need to do is look at a chart, right? And I can do this from my computer. I can do this from my phone. I can do this from Hawaii. I can use from a different country. All I need is a Wi-Fi connection, and I gotta look at something, make a markup, and I can make money from that. That's complete freedom, man. That's what I think people will understand. Like, day trading is freedom because you can do it from anywhere, any place, anytime, right? And there's no limit to how much money you can make. Now you can lose, right? But there's no limit. Yeah, there's two sides to every coin. But you can make. And the hopeful person I am and the faith driven person I am, I think of the pros of what it can be. I think of, oh man, I'm chilling with my kids. I could be making a salary, literally chilling with my kids. Like, that's what I see. That's where I envision my life going. I want to be able to, have the freedom to be at all my kids' events and stuff like that. So that's something I see myself as far as the dream that I'm creating in my head and trying to bring into fruition. I'm not completely there yet, but I know where road I'm going. You know what I'm saying? As far as my drive, my energy, my mentality, and most of all, my hustle.
Got you. Yeah, I mean, time freedom is key. It's nothing like being able to make money on your own terms, where you want.
Yeah.
And I see you traveling. I see you, how do you balance all that too? Like, trading and traveling and doing all these different things. And you still be outside a little bit too, having a good time. Like, how do you make it all work?
I just like to enjoy myself. Like I said, it's balance. I don't, I work from home. So to be honest with you, on an everyday week, I don't really have human interaction unless I leave the gym. So to me, it's like if I'm be at home, sometimes I like to step out and have a little fresh air. I know at times I need to grind and just work, but I am human, so sometimes I do need human interaction.
Right.
That's why working out and traveling are good for me because it kind of makes it balanced. Because I literally, day trading, you can make money literally being by yourself. But the cons is that I'm always home by myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I just need a little balance. I like to have balance in my life. I like to do all things. I don't like to limit myself to anything. I feel like there's so much that this life has to offer, and I want to be an individual that just experiences a lot, right? So
Yeah.
I can know what I truly want out of this.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, and I
Yeah.
think too, once you have like you've already seen the future, like you said, you want the family, lifestyle you want, so it's
Yeah.
easy to just put your head down and lock in and do that work because at the end of the day, no one's coming to save us. Especially being a black man in America, like no one's
Hmm.
coming to save us. You have to
Yeah.
be willing to do the work.
And I feel like the moment you realize that, um, nobody, you're in control of you,
Hmm.
and you got to look yourself in the mirror every day. You got to wake up and be like, hey, it's all on me. And the moment you understand that, hey, no one's coming to save you, things are going to get better for you, right? Because at that point, you know the action that you got to take behind your words, right? And you know the hustle you got to have between your work ethic and how you continue to grow and build yourself into the man you want to become. So for me, like I said, I'm just always self-driven, self-motivated. That discipline, that consistency, that stuff is going to constantly breed motivation into me actually out here outputting the things that I want out of this
Hmm.
life. So
Or yeah, I
easy.
like that, bro. So I want to get back to forex real quick because there's been a lot of changes in the forex space, and I just want to get your thoughts. Like even with a lot of brokers no longer having MetaTrader, and all the changes and people using trade lockers. So where do you see the forex landscape going? Because a lot of people thought forex was going to disappear.
I think people think Forex is in despair. I think it's here to stay. Foreign exchange is everywhere. You're always going to have to constantly change currencies. And as long as Bitcoin is still relevant, I think there's always going to be opportunity to day trade and make money. So people have this misconception where they think Forex is going anywhere. I don't believe it. Of course, with the MetaTrader 4 switch to the trade locker, that was kind of the shift for everybody, even me. But from a long term perspective, Forex is here to stay. Day trading is here to stay. It is a good opportunity and a good avenue to get into if you want to get your time back.
Mm,
Now, it's not easy, right? Um, Probably the hardest thing I ever did in my life, but it can be definitely rewarding into the right steps that can, put you in the right place in the future.
Got you. Yeah, that makes sense. And then,
Yeah.
like I said, there's so much flexibility with it. Like people think when you start day trading, you have to quit everything else. Like you can make it work,
Hmm.
but you have to literally plan it out and have a plan. Because if you don't have a plan, then you're probably just gonna fail.
I think people have this perspective where they think they have to stop their job in order to
Right.
day trade. Like I was working a full time job and I was day trading as well too. Like the good thing about Forex and why I like Forex is 24 hours open up the day.
Yeah.
So you just got to find a time in a session that works for you. There's 4 sessions for those who don't know: Sydney, Tokyo, New York, and London. Depending on the volatility of the time of when to trade that session, the best thing to do is depend on your schedule. Hey, if you work, maybe at home, maybe you can do the New York session because it's different because now you have remote, it's remote position, especially, and now you can, sit and look at your screen, right, while trading. Now, if you maybe work during the day, maybe London session will be better for your Tokyo session. There's so much accommodation that there is. I think people have this idea that they can only trade in the morning, but it's flexible. It's 24 hours out the day. So you just got to find something that works for you in the meantime, and you can work the 9 to 5 job. You can still trade and do your thing.
Yeah.
And then for me, it was like, okay, when it got to the point for me where it's like, okay, I'm missing out on money every day, and the money I'm making from my job, I could make 4 or 5 times that day trading. That's when it kind of made for me like, okay, it makes more sense to just go full time day trade, right? But for some instances, for some situations, you know, if you're making really good money, like through work, or you have a consistent income, which is great. People always talk down on 9 to 5s. 9 to 5s is just another stream of income. I
Right.
always
Right.
look at 9 to 5 like, hey, that's another stream of income that I can use to generate my passion or make money from what I really want to do.
Right.
You take that money from 9 to 5 and stuff like that. You can upload that to a trading account. There's so many ways you can go about it. But I think people have this misconception where they think that day trading, you have to just sit on a screen and just, trade all day. You don't
Yeah.
have to do
Yeah.
that. It's flexible. Something you can just add as another stream of income until
Gotcha.
that income suffices to where you can be full time. Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's the goal for everybody. But like I said, I just want to kind of clear that up.
No, that's definitely real because a lot of people, like I said, they think you got to be glued to the screens. I remember when I started telling people I'm a day trader, like, so you just sit there all day. And there is a phase where you probably go through that. I remember me, like, there was days where that's all I was doing in class.
Yeah.
I'm glued to the phone. But after a while, it's like, okay, I show up. It's like work. I show up, get my money, and I leave.
Some days it could be 15 minutes. Some days it could be 30 minutes. And hey, if it's a bad day, maybe you're on there all day.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's the flexibility behind it. I've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, cool. If things aren't happening within an hour 15, hour 20 minutes, I'm probably done for the day. So I try to get done before 10, 11 a.m. That way I have the rest of the time to go do what I want to do, which is like working out, have fun, do some other stuff and stuff like that. So
Got you. So, before we get out of here, I want to ask you, where do you really see yourself like in 5 years with everything? Trading, making content. Are you going to be the person where you hit the big win and we're not going to see you again? Or like, if you got to do three things in the next 5 years that you have to get done, what are those things?
I want to be a better individual as far as I want a better relationship with God. Right, that's my number one priority.
That's real.
I see myself having a family. You know, I want to be able to provide, be in a position to provide for my family, take care of my loved ones, my parents, siblings, everybody. And then, most of all, I just want to be the best version of myself. And the thing about me is, whether or not it's day trading or whether or not it's being an entrepreneur, right? I don't know what God has for me, but I know at the end of the day, I just want to become the best version of myself. And whatever God had planned for me, I want to be able to look back and say, hey, all my fears, I went through it. I faced all the adversity head on. I didn't run from anything. And I'm able to look myself in the mirror every single day and know I gave them all. But I do see myself successful, rich, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
but
right.
those are the main things that matter to me most, right? It's kind of more what's in here. All the other stuff, the materialistic stuff like that. I want those nice things for myself. Of course, that comes with what I'm chasing.
Right.
But as long as this is right, I can live to fight another day.
No, that's real, man. So I really appreciate you coming on this first episode, bro. So let the people know where they can find you, how to get access to your group, all that good stuff.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Derek Abekwe. Guys, I'm not hard to find. You can find me at Legendary Sniper Effects on Instagram. You can also find me on Telegram at Legendary Drac, guys. I just started my YouTube page, Legendary Sniper Effects, as well too. I'll be dropping a lot of content on there as far as reels, education, analysis. Guys, I do a lot of giveaways, right? God has blessed me and He's put me in a position to help individuals. I want to be able to help the world and show them what I'm capable and able to do. So like I said, y'all guys give me a follow, man. It's been a blessing. Appreciate you, brother.
Hey, this was real, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
So you guys make sure you like, subscribe, and go check out his YouTube. Go check out his IG. He's helping a lot of traders really level up and, change their lives. And that's what it's all about, giving back the skill set. So, guys, we're going to be doing this a lot more often. Probably going to have him back on at some point in the near future. But once again, bro, I appreciate you. And, thank you for coming through. And to everybody out there, keep bringing the vision to reality. I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Peace.